The alarm bells rang through the ship like angry metal birds. Captain Hyun-woo Kim jumped from his chair on the bridge of the UES Taeguk. The massive warship floated in the darkness of space near Earth's moon. Around him, his crew moved quickly. To their stations. "What is it?" Hyun-woo asked his communications officer. "Sir, we are getting a signal from far away." "Very far away. It sounds like someone needs help," said Lieutenant Yoo-jin Park. She pressed buttons on her console with shaking hands. Hyun-woo walked to her station. The Taeguk was the biggest ship in humanity's first real space fleet. They had built it to protect Earth from alien threats, but so far they had only met friendly aliens who traded with them. "Can you clean up the signal?" Hyun-woo asked. Yoo-jin worked for several minutes. Strange sounds filled the bridge. Then a voice came through, speaking broken English mixed with clicks and whistles. "Help! Please, help! We are dying. Krogor ships. They kill our children." The voice was soft and scared. It sounded like it was coming from underwater. Hyun-woo had heard about the Volani before. They lived on water worlds and made amazing medicines from sea plants. They had never hurt anyone. "Where is this coming from?" Hyun-woo asked. "The Kepler 442 system, sir. That is 12 light-years from here," Yoo-jin said. Hyun-woo's stomach felt cold. 12 light-years was very far, even with their new faster-than-light engines. It would take a week to get there. The alien voice came through again. "I am Siltheta of the Volani Council. Krogor Empire attacks our home. Our shields cannot stop their weapons. Please, Earth humans, help us. You are our only hope." The bridge went quiet. Everyone looked at their captain. Hyun-woo felt the weight of the moment. This was the first time aliens had asked humans for military help. "Send a message to Admiral Park on Earth," Hyun-woo said. "Tell him we have a situation." While they waited for the Admiral's response, Hyun-woo called his senior officers to the briefing room. Lieutenant Commander Taemin Cho arrived first. He was the ship's tactical officer and a former Korean Marine. His face was serious as always. "What do we know about these Krogor?" Hyun-woo asked. Taemin pulled up information on the room's screen. "Not much, sir. Our alien friends have told us a little. The Krogor are like giant insects. They work as a hive mind, all thinking together. They conquer other planets and take slaves." Chief Engineer So-young Han entered the room. She was small but tough and could fix anything on the ship. "Sir, if we are going to fight, our weapons are not made for space battles. We have missiles and railguns, but they are designed to fight other human ships." "What about the Krogor weapons?" Hyun-woo asked. "Unknown, sir. But if they are attacking the Volani, they must be powerful. The Volani have good shields made from living coral," Taemin said. The ship's computer chimed. Admiral Ji-hoon Park appeared on the screen. He was an old man with gray hair and tired eyes, but his voice was strong. "Captain Kim, I have heard the alien message. What is your assessment?" "Sir, the Volani are peaceful people. They have helped us with medicine and technology. If we do nothing, the Krogor will kill them all," Hyun-woo said. Admiral Park was quiet for a moment. "Captain, this would be humanity's first real space war. We do not know if we can win." "With respect, sir, we do not know if we can lose either. Humans have never backed down from a fight when innocent people needed help." Another voice came from off-screen. "Admiral, this is foolish." Ambassador Soo-jin Lee stepped into view. She was the government's top diplomat. "We are not ready for war with an alien empire. We should ask the Galactic Trade Council for help." "The Trade Council only talks, Ambassador. They do not fight," Admiral Park said. "By the time they decide what to do, the Volani will be dead or enslaved." Hyun-woo watched the argument through the screen. He thought about the scared voice of Siltheta. He thought about alien children hiding while enemy ships bombed their cities. "Admiral," Hyun-woo said, "the other aliens call us Deathworlders because Earth is a dangerous planet. They think we are primitive and violent. Maybe it is time to show them what Deathworlders can really do." Admiral Park smiled for the first time. "Captain, prepare. Your fleet for immediate departure. I am sending you 4 more ships, the destroyers Sejong, Dokdo, and Hwarang, plus the carrier Incheon with fighter squadrons." "Sir, what are our rules of engagement?" Taemin asked. "Protect the Volani. Stop the Krogor. Use whatever force is necessary," Admiral Park said. "The Krogor picked a fight with the wrong species. Ambassador Lee shook her head. This is a mistake. We should try diplomacy first. Ambassador, the Krogor are already killing innocent people. Sometimes diplomacy comes after you stop the bullies, Admiral Park replied. The connection ended. Hyun-woo looked at his officers. So Young was already making notes about weapon modifications. Tae-min was studying tactical data. How long until the other ships arrive? Hyun-woo asked. 6 hours, sir, Yujin said from the bridge. Hyun-woo nodded. Use that time well. So Young, I want every weapon system checked and improved. Tae-min, study everything we know about Krogor tactics. Yujin, keep trying to contact the Vallani. Let them know help is coming. As his officers left to prepare, Hyun-woo stayed in the briefing room alone. He looked out the window at Earth's blue and white surface. Somewhere down there, his family was sleeping peacefully. His wife Min-ah and his daughter Sujin did not know their husband and father was about to lead humanity into its first interstellar war. The other aliens were right about one thing. Earth was a death world. Humans had survived ice ages, plagues, natural disasters, and countless wars. They had learned to fight, to adapt, and to protect the weak from the strong. Maybe that was why the Vallani had called for help from the Deathworlders of Earth. 6 hours later, the human fleet gathered in space. 5 warships loaded with weapons and determined crews. Captain Dong Hyun-yoon of the Sejong sent a message. Ready for hyperspace jump, Admiral Kim. Wait. Admiral Kim? Hyun-woo realized that Admiral Park had promoted him to fleet commander for this mission. All ships, this is Admiral Kim, he said over the fleet communication system. We are going to help people who cannot help themselves. We are going to show the galaxy what humans do when bullies attack the innocent. Prepare for hyperspace jump. The stars stretched into lines of light. The human fleet disappeared from Earth's solar system, heading toward a distant star where aliens waited for salvation from the Deathworlders of Earth. In his command chair, Hyun-woo wondered if they were flying toward victory or disaster. But he knew one thing for certain. Humanity would not let the Vallani face the darkness alone. The war had begun. The human fleet traveled through hyperspace for 7 days. During this time, Admiral Hyun-woo Kim called meetings every day to study their enemy. The main briefing room on the Taeguk became a war planning center. Show me what we know about the Krogor, Hyun-woo said to his intelligence team. Lieutenant Min-ho Bae stood up. He was young but very smart with computers and alien data. Sir, we have some video files from Vallani survivors. The Krogor ships are big and dark. They look like they are made from black metal with spikes. The screen showed grainy footage of massive alien warships. They were ugly and mean-looking, like giant space wasps. The ships fired bright red beams that cut through Vallani coral cities like hot knives through butter. How many ships do they have? Asked Commander Yoonji Nam. She was the fleet's chief strategist, a woman who had studied every human war in history. At least 15 large ships around the Vallani homeworld. Maybe more coming, Min-ho said. So Young-han raised her hand. Sir, I have been studying their weapons. The red beams are plasma cannons. Very hot, very powerful. Our armor can take some hits, but not many. Tae-min Cho leaned forward. What about their tactics? How do they fight? Min-ho changed the display. This is interesting, sir. The Krogor move in perfect formations. All their ships do the same thing at the same time. They fight like one giant creature, not like separate ships. Yoonji stood up suddenly. Her eyes were bright with an idea. That is their weakness. On Earth, we learned that armies that all think the same way can be defeated by armies that think differently. Explain, Hyun-woo said. In human history, small groups using surprise tactics often beat larger, organized armies. The Krogor expect their enemies to fight in neat lines like they do. But humans do not fight that way. Tae-min nodded. In the Korean War, small groups of soldiers caused big problems for much larger armies. We used the mountains and moved fast. The enemy could not predict what we would do. Hyun-woo looked around the room. So you are saying we should not fight like a normal space fleet? Exactly, sir, Yoonji said. We should fight like humans. Each ship should be free to make its own decisions. No formations, no predictable patterns, pure chaos. Dr. Haewon Jung, the fleet's medical officer, spoke from the corner. Sir, I have been reading about Krogor biology. They are insects, like ants or bees on Earth. They probably think as one mind. Individual creativity might be impossible for them. That gives me an idea, So Young said. She went to the display and drew some pictures. Sir, what if we modify our weapons to be even more unpredictable? I can make some missiles that change direction randomly, some that split into smaller pieces, some that look like they missed but come back around. Hyunwoo smiled. Do it. What else? Our fighter pilots are all trained for dogfighting, but space combat is three-dimensional. I say we let them fly however they want, not in neat squadrons, Taemin suggested. Lieutenant Jae-sung Ko, the fleet's best fighter pilot, had been listening quietly. Sir, my pilots and I have been practicing something new. We call it ramming speed. We fly straight at enemy ships like we are going to crash, then dodge at the last second. It scares the enemy and lets us get very close. That sounds dangerous, Dr. Young said. Everything about war is dangerous, Doc. But being unpredictable keeps us alive, Jae-sung replied. Over the following days, the human fleet became a floating workshop. So Young and her engineers worked day and night to modify weapons. They took apart missiles and put them back together in new ways. They programmed the ship computers to use random patterns instead of military formations. Yoonji created what she called the Deathworlder Doctrine. It was a new way of fighting based on how humans had survived on Earth. The rules were simple. Be unpredictable, adapt quickly, and never fight fair if you can help it. Remember, Yoonji told the ship captains, other species think we are primitive. Because we come from a dangerous world, let us use that. They will not expect us to be smart and savage at the same time. Captain Dong-Yun-Yoon of the destroyer Sejong had his own ideas. My ship is fast and small. I want to attack from unexpected directions. Hit and run like a mosquito biting an elephant. Captain Si-jin, O of the Dokdo, agreed. The Krogor have big guns, but they are slow. We can dance around them. Meanwhile, Dr. Young made a disturbing discovery. Sir, I have been studying Krogor biology more. They do not just conquer planets. They take prisoners and do experiments on them. The survivors we rescue might need special medical care. This made everyone angry. Hyunwoo felt his hands form fists. Then we make sure there are plenty of survivors to rescue and not many Krogor left to do experiments. On the 7th day, the fleet prepared to drop out of hyperspace. Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the Taeguk, looking at his crew. These people were about to fight the first space battle in human history. Attention all ships, he said over the communication system. In a few minutes, we will arrive at the Kepler 442 system. We do not know exactly what we will find there, but we know that innocent people are depending on us. He paused, thinking of the right words. The other aliens call us Deathworlders because we come from a harsh planet. They think this makes us crude and violent. Today, we will show them what it really means. Humans do not just survive on a death world. We protect others from death itself, the sea. Bridge crew checked their stations. Weapons were ready. Engines were ready. Most importantly, the crew was ready. Sir, Yujin said, we are dropping out of hyperspace in 30 seconds. Hyunwoo sat in his command chair. All ships, this is Admiral Kim. Remember the Deathworlder Doctrine. Fight smart, fight mean, and bring everyone home. Execute hyperspace. Exit now! The stars snapped back into points of light. The human fleet appeared in the Kepler 442 system like ghosts materializing from darkness. What they saw made everyone angry. The Vellani homeworld was beautiful, covered in blue oceans with coral cities that sparkled like jewels, but ugly black. Krogor ships surrounded the planet like vultures around a dying animal. Red plasma beams reached down from space, burning the coral cities and boiling the seas. 17 enemy ships confirmed, Taemin reported. His voice was calm, but his eyes were full of rage. Any sign of Vellani resistance? Hyunwoo asked. Negative, sir. Their bioshields are failing. I am reading massive casualties on the planet's surface. Hyunwoo stood up. The time for planning was over. The time for fighting had come. All ships, battle stations. Today we teach the Krogor Empire what happens when they pick a fight with Deathworlders. The human fleet spread out in seemingly random directions, each ship choosing its own path toward the enemy. No formations, no predictable patterns, just 5 warships full of angry humans racing towards 17 alien dreadnoughts. The Krogor had no idea what was about to hit them. The Krogor fleet hung in space like a wall of black metal death. 17 massive ships, each one 3 times larger than the biggest human vessel. Their hulls were covered in spikes and weapon ports that glowed red with deadly energy, Admiral Hyunwoo Kim watched them through the main screen of the Taeguk. His human fleet looked tiny compared to the enemy, but size was not everything. Humans had learned that lesson many times on Earth. "Sir, the Krogor are sending us a message," Yu-jin said. "Put it through," Hyunwoo ordered. The screen filled with the image of a Krogor commander. It looked like a giant insect standing on 2 legs. Its black shell gleamed under the lights of its ship's bridge. 6 arms moved constantly, operating controls. But the worst part was its eyes. Dozens of small red eyes that stared with cold intelligence. "Unknown vessels, you have entered a Krogor. Conquest zone. Identify yourselves and prepare to be destroyed or enslaved," the creature said. Its voice sounded like grinding metal. Hyunwoo stepped forward. "This is Admiral Kim of the Human Defense Fleet. You are attacking innocent people. Leave this system now or face the consequences." The Krogor commander made a sound that might have been laughing. "Humans? You are the primitive Deathworlders from the small blue planet. Your 5 tiny ships are no threat to the Krogor Empire. We will add your ships to our fleet and your bodies to our slave pits." "You are welcome to try," Hyunwoo said. Then he cut the communication. The bridge was quiet for a moment. Everyone knew what was coming next. "All ships, execute Protocol Incheon," Hyunwoo commanded. This was the plan Yoonji had created. Instead of announcing their attack or giving the enemy time to prepare, the humans would strike first with everything they had. It was based on the old military idea that the best defense was a good offense. The 5 human ships suddenly changed direction and accelerated toward the Krogor fleet. But they did not move as a group. Each ship chose a different target and approach angle. The Taeguk went high. The Sejong went low. The Dokdo came from the left, the Hwarang from the right, and the carrier Incheon launched all its fighters in a swarm. The Krogor were confused. Their perfect formations were designed to fight other fleets that attacked in neat lines. They had never seen anything like this chaotic human assault. "Target their command ships first," Taemin said. "Cut off the head, and the body dies." The Taeguk fired its main railgun at the largest Krogor ship. The metal projectile traveled so fast, it appeared as just a flash of light. It punched through the enemy's shields and armor like a bullet through paper. At the same time, So-Young's modified missiles reached their targets. Some split into smaller warheads that spread like shotgun pellets. Others changed direction at the last second, hitting the Krogor ships from unexpected angles. A few even appeared to miss, then turned around and attacked from behind. The Krogor tried to respond, but their hive mind was struggling. They were used to fighting enemies who moved predictably. The human ships darted around like angry wasps, never staying in one place long enough to be targeted properly. Captain Dong Hyun-yoon pushed his destroyer Sejong to its limits. The ship twisted and rolled through space, avoiding the red plasma beams while firing its own weapons. "Come on, you ugly bugs!" he shouted. "Try to keep up!" The fighter squadrons led by Lieutenant Jae Sung-ko were even more wild. The small ships flew in impossible patterns, sometimes diving straight at Krogor vessels before pulling away at the last second. The enemy gunners could not track them. "Sir, the Krogor are trying to reorganize into a defensive formation," Taemin reported. "Do not let them," Hyunwoo ordered. "All ships, maintain the chaos. Keep them confused." But the Krogor were learning. Their ships began to fire in wider patterns, trying to catch the fast human vessels. Red plasma beams crisscrossed space like a deadly light show. The destroyer Hwarang took a direct hit. Captain Mi-young Park's voice came over the radio. "Hull breach on deck 3. We are venting atmosphere, but we are still fighting." "Medical teams stand by," Dr. Jung announced from the Taeguk's sick bay. Hyunwoo knew they had to end this quickly. The human ships were fast and clever, but they could not take as much damage as the massive Krogor dreadnoughts. "Taemin, prepare for Operation Ramming Speed," he said. This was the most dangerous part of their plan. The Taeguk would fly directly at the enemy flagship, pretending to make a suicide run. At the last moment, they would launch their boarding pods and change course. "Sir, that is extremely risky," Taemin said. "The whole battle is risky. Execute the plan." The Taeguk turned and flew straight at the largest Krogor ship. The enemy vessel was huge, like a black metal mountain floating in space. Its weapons turned to track the approaching human ship. "They are firing everything they have at us," Yujin reported. "Evasive maneuvers, but keep us on course," Hyunwoo ordered. The ship shook as plasma beams passed close by. The armor heated up from near misses. Everyone on the bridge held their breath. "Launching boarding pods now," Taemin said. 20 armored pods shot out from the Taeguk like bullets from a gun. Each one carried 5 human marines in powered armor. At the same moment, the Taeguk pulled up sharply, avoiding a collision by mere meters. The boarding pods hit the Krogor ship's hull and burned through the armor with cutting tools. Inside each pod, Marines prepared for close combat. Major Kyungmin Seo led the first squad through the breach. The interior of the Krogor ship was hot and humid, like a tropical jungle on Earth. The air was thick and hard to breathe. "Masks on, everyone," he ordered. "We do not know what diseases these bugs might carry." The Krogor crew was waiting for them. The insect creatures came at the humans with energy weapons and sharp claws. But they had made a mistake. They expected the humans to be weak and clumsy in their heavy armor. Instead, the human Marines moved like dancers of death. Their training on Earth's high-gravity world had made them strong and fast. The Krogor, who had evolved on a lighter world, could not match their physical power. "Push forward to their bridge," SEO commanded. "Take out their command structure." The Marines fought through corridors that looked like the inside of an anthill. Krogor defenders tried to stop them, but human weapons were designed to work in any environment. The Marines' rifles fired explosive rounds that punched through insect armor. Meanwhile, the space battle continued outside. The human ships had destroyed 4 Krogor vessels, but more enemy ships were arriving from other parts of the system. "Sir, we have 8 new contacts dropping out of hyperspace," Yujin reported. Hyunwoo felt his heart sink. 25 enemy ships total. Even with their tactics, the humans could not fight odds of 5 to 1 forever. But then something unexpected happened. The Krogor fleet began to pull back from the planet. "They are retreating?" Taemin asked in surprise. "No," Yunji said, studying the tactical display. "They are regrouping. The hive mind is adapting to our tactics." She was right. The Krogor ships formed a defensive sphere around their remaining command vessels. They had learned that fighting scattered humans was dangerous. Now they would make the humans come to them. "Sir, we are receiving a transmission from Major Seo," Yujin said. Seo's voice came through the speakers. It was hard to hear over the sound of gunfire. "Admiral, we have reached the enemy bridge. These bugs are tougher than they look, but we can take it. Give us 5 more minutes." "You have it, Major," Hyunwoo replied, but they might not have 5 minutes. The regrouped Krogor fleet was preparing for a massive counterattack. Their weapons were charging up for a coordinated strike that could destroy the scattered human ships. Hyunwoo had to make a decision: continue the chaotic attack and risk losing everything, or try a new approach. He looked at his crew, these brave people who had followed him across the galaxy to help strangers. They deserved a chance to go home alive. "All ships, execute plan. Dragon," he ordered. This was their final gambit. All the human vessels would concentrate their fire on a single point in the enemy formation. It was risky, but it might create a gap they could exploit. The battle was far from over. But the humans had already proven one thing: the Deathworlders of Earth would not give up while innocent people needed their help. The human fleet moved like a pack of wolves closing in for the kill. All 5 ships concentrated their fire on a single Krogor dreadnought at the edge of the enemy formation. The massive alien vessel tried to turn away, but it was too slow. "Direct. Hit on their shield generators," Taemin reported, as the Taeguk's railgun found its mark. The targeted Krogor ship's shields flickered and died. Immediately, the other human vessels poured fire into the gap. Missiles, energy beams, and kinetic rounds all struck the same point on the enemy hull. "Hull breach confirmed," Captain Dong-hyun said over the communication system. "That bug is leaking atmosphere like a broken balloon." But the victory came with a price. The other Krogor ships had used the distraction to reorganize their formation. Now they presented a solid wall of armor and weapons with no weak points for the humans to exploit. "Sir, they are adapting faster than we expected," Yunji warned. The hive mind is learning our tactics. Admiral Hyun-woo Kim studied the tactical display. The Krogor had formed a perfect defensive sphere. Any attack would face concentrated fire from multiple ships. It was like trying to assault a castle made of spaceships. "Admiral, this is Major Seo," came a voice from the captured Krogor ship. "We have taken their bridge, but you need to see what we found here." The main screen switched to show the interior of the alien vessel. Major Kyung-min Seo stood among dead Krogor bodies, his armor scorched from battle. Behind him, human Marines were examining strange organic computers that pulsed with green light. "Sir, these are not just machines," Seo said. "They are alive. The whole ship is part biological. And there is something else. We found prison cells full of alien survivors, not just Volani but creatures from a dozen different species." Dr. Haewon-jung leaned forward. "Are they alive?" "Barely. They look like they have been used for experiments." "Some kind of biological testing?" Seo replied, his voice full of anger. Hyun-woo felt cold rage build in his chest. The Krogor were not just conquerors. They were monsters who tortured prisoners for science. "Major, secure those prisoners and prepare for evacuation. We are coming to get you." But before he could give more orders, Yu Jin shouted a warning. "Sir, massive energy buildup from the Krogor fleet. They are preparing something big. On the EEA screen, all the remaining Krogor ships were glowing with red energy. Their weapons were charging up for what looked like a coordinated strike. "They are going to fire everything at once," Taemin said. "If we stay spread out, they can destroy us one by one." Hyun-woo had seconds to decide. The logical choice was to retreat and save his fleet. But thousands of innocent aliens would die, and Major Seo's team would be trapped on the enemy ship. "All ships, emergency acceleration toward the planet," he ordered. "Get into the gravity well where their big guns cannot track us easily." The human fleet dove toward the Volani homeworld. Like falling stars, behind them, the Krogor unleashed their devastating barrage. Red plasma beams filled space where the human ships had been moments before. "That was too close," Captain Sejin-oh of the Dokdo reported. "Another few seconds, and we would have been vapor." As they entered the planet's atmosphere, Hyun-woo saw the destruction the Krogor had caused. Beautiful coral cities lay in ruins. The once blue oceans were stained with ash and debris, but sensors showed life signs throughout the planet. The Volani were still alive, hiding in underwater shelters. "Sir, the Krogor are following us into the atmosphere," Yu-jin warned. "Good," Hyun-woo said. "Down here, size is a disadvantage. Their big ships will be clumsy in the thick air." The battle moved to the skies above the Volani world. The human ships darted between clouds and over the ocean surface, using the planet's geography as cover. The Krogor dreadnoughts followed, but they were indeed slower and less maneuverable in the atmosphere. Lieutenant Jae-sung Ko's fighter squadrons were in their element now. The small ships skimmed over the water, then pulled up sharply to attack the Krogor vessels from below. It was like aerial combat from Earth's old wars, but with spaceships instead of airplanes. "Sir, I have an idea," So-young said from the engine room. "The Krogor ships are designed for vacuum. Their armor is not made to handle atmospheric friction at high speeds." "What do you mean?" Hyun-woo asked. "If we can force them to accelerate rapidly in thick air, their hulls will overheat. It is basic physics." Hyun-woo smiled. Once again, humanity's experience on a harsh world gave them an advantage. Earth's thick atmosphere had taught human engineers how to deal with heat and friction. "All fighters, new mission," he announced. "Make the Krogor chase you. Get them moving fast, then break away suddenly. Let the atmosphere do our work for us." The human pilots understood immediately. They flew straight at the enemy ships, firing. Just enough to make the Krogor angry, then pulled away at high speed. The alien vessels accelerated to follow, their hulls beginning to glow from the heat of atmospheric friction. "It is working," Taemin reported. "Enemy ships are showing heat, stress. Their armor is starting to buckle." But the Krogor were not helpless. They began using a new tactic, releasing clouds of toxic gas into the atmosphere. The green poison spread over the ocean, killing sea life and contaminating the air. "They are trying to make the planet uninhabitable," Dr. Jung said in horror. "Not if we stop them first," Hyun-woo replied. He opened a channel to all ships. "This ends now." All vessels converge on the Krogor flagship. Full assault, everything we have. The human fleet came together like the fingers of a closing fist. They flew directly at the largest enemy ship, ignoring the smaller vessels. It was a desperate gamble, but Hyunwoo knew they had to cut off the head of the snake. The Krogor flagship was massive, its hull covered in weapon ports and armor plates. But it was also slow and predictable. The human ships hit it from 5 different directions at once. "Major CO, are you ready for pickup?" Hyunwoo asked. "Standing by with all prisoners, sir. But you should know, we found something in their computer systems. The location of the Krogor home fleet. Save it for later, Major. Right now, let us just survive." The Taguk flew directly over the enemy flagship, launching recovery pods to pick up the Marine team. At the same time, the other human ships concentrated, their fire on the vessel's critical systems. "Shield generators down," Taemin reported. "Weapons systems failing. They are losing power." The massive Krogor ship began to fall toward the planet's surface, its engines unable to maintain altitude. But as it fell, it sent out a signal to the other enemy vessels. "Sir, the remaining Krogor ships are retreating," Yujin said. "They are leaving the system." Hyunwoo could hardly believe it. "Confirm that report." "Confirmed, sir. 14 surviving enemy vessels are jumping to hyperspace. They are running away." The bridge erupted in cheers. The impossible had happened. 5 human ships had defeated a Krogor invasion fleet and saved an entire planet. But Hyunwoo felt no celebration yet. "Casualties report," he ordered. "Hwarang has heavy damage but is operational. Dokdo lost 2 crew members. Fighter squadrons lost 6 pilots. Major Seo's team has 3 wounded but no deaths," Dr. Jung reported. "It could have been much worse, but every human life lost was precious." "Sir, we are receiving a transmission from the planet's surface," Yujin said. The screen showed Siltheta, the Villani representative who had first called for help. The aquatic alien looked exhausted, but alive. Behind her, other Villani were emerging from underwater shelters. "Admiral Kim, we cannot express our gratitude. The Deathworlders of Earth have saved our people. You have proven that strength can serve compassion." Hyunwoo bowed his head respectfully. "We were honored to help. No innocent people should face monsters alone." As the human fleet regrouped in orbit, messages began arriving from across the galaxy. News of the victory was spreading through alien communication networks faster than light itself. The reputation of humanity was changing. No longer were they seen as primitive Deathworlders. Now they were the Deathworlders who protected the weak from evil. But Hyunwoo knew this was just the beginning. The Krogor would be back, probably with more ships and better tactics. And there were other threats in the galaxy, other bullies who preyed on peaceful species. "Set course for Earth," he ordered. "We have a report to make to Admiral Park, and a new mission to prepare for." The age of humanity as galactic protectors had begun. 3 weeks after the battle, Admiral Hyunwoo Kim stood in the command center on Earth's moon base. Through the large windows, he could see the blue and white marble that was humanity's home world. But his mind was focused on the dozens of messages flooding the communication systems. "Sir, we have 17 more requests for protection," Lieutenant Yujin Park reported. She looked tired from processing so many alien communications. "The Zephyrians are being attacked by slavers. The Crystalline Collective is facing pirates. The Moss people say something called the Iron Claw Legion is burning their forest worlds." Admiral Ji-hoon Park entered the room, followed by Ambassador Soo-jin Lee. The old admiral's face showed both pride and worry. "The whole galaxy is talking about what happened at Kepler 442, Admiral Park said. "Every peaceful species wants the human Deathworlders to protect them. Every hostile empire now sees us as a threat." Ambassador Lee shook her head. "This is exactly what I was afraid of. We have painted a target on Earth. The Krogor Empire will want revenge." Hyunwoo turned from the window. "Ambassador, with respect, the target was already there. Evil species like the Krogor would have come for us eventually. At least now we have allies." On cue, the communication system chimed. Siltheta's image appeared on the main screen. The Villani leader looked much healthier than during their desperate plea for help. "Admiral Kim, I bring news from the Galactic Trade Council. They are meeting to discuss humanity's new role in galactic affairs. Many species want to form a mutual defense treaty with Earth." "What kind of treaty?" Admiral Park asked. "A military alliance," Humans provide protection, allies provide technology and resources. The Volani have already begun growing bio-armor using our coral technology. It will make your ships much stronger. Hyunwoo felt excitement build in his chest. What about other technologies? The ethereals offer energy shields. The rock builders have mining techniques that could give you rare metals. The sky dancers have faster communication systems. Together, we could build a fleet that no empire could challenge. But Ambassador Lee looked concerned. What about the hostile species? How are they reacting? Siltheta's expression grew serious. Not well. The Krogor have formed an alliance with 3 other aggressive empires. They call themselves the Dominion of Strength. They believe the galaxy should be ruled by the most powerful, not protected by the most compassionate. After the communication ended, the 3 humans stood in silence. Finally, Admiral Park spoke. Hyunwoo, I am promoting you to Fleet Admiral. I want you to oversee the construction of humanity's new galactic defense force. Sir, I am honored, but I am not sure I am the right person for such a big job. You defeated a superior enemy force using tactics no one else thought of. You saved an entire species while losing only minimal casualties. Most importantly, you showed mercy to captured enemies and protected innocent aliens. That is exactly what Earth needs in a galactic commander. Over the following months, the solar system became a hub of activity. Alien ships arrived daily, bringing new technologies and eager workers. The Volani grew living armor that could repair itself. The ethereals taught humans how to build energy shields that bent around projectiles. The rock builders showed them mining techniques that could hollow out asteroids in days instead of years. But the most important visitors were the refugees. Ships full of survivors from worlds attacked by the Dominion of Strength arrived seeking protection. Each ship brought stories of cruelty and destruction that made the humans more determined to stop the spread of evil. Chief Engineer So Young-han worked 18-hour days designing new ship types. Sir, we can build vessels that combine the best of human engineering with alien technology. Fast like our destroyers, but tough like Krogor dreadnoughts, and smart like ethereal science ships. Lieutenant Commander Taemin Cho was busy training the first mixed-species military units. The aliens are eager to learn human tactics, but they have skills we never imagined. The sky dancers can coordinate attacks across light years using their telepathy. The rock builders can work in environments that would kill humans instantly. Dr. Haewon Jung had her own challenges. Sir, I am treating refugees from a dozen different species. Each one needs different medical care. But I am learning that many alien diseases cannot affect humans, and vice versa. Our harsh world gave us immunity to biological weapons that work on other species. 6 months after Kepler 442, Fleet Admiral Hyunwoo Kim stood on the bridge of a new type of ship. The UES Unity was 3 times larger than the old Taeguk, with armor grown by Volani biotechnology and weapons powered by ethereal energy cores. Its crew included humans, Volani, sky dancers, and even some former Krogor prisoners who had chosen freedom over the hive mind. Sir, we are receiving a priority transmission from the edge of the galaxy, reported Commander Yoonji Nam, now his chief of staff. The message was from a species called the Wanderers. They were ancient beings who traveled between galaxies, and they rarely spoke to younger civilizations. People of Earth, the alien said in a voice like wind through mountains, we have watched the rise and fall of 10,000 species. Most who gain power use it to conquer. You have gained power and used it to protect. This is rare and precious. Hyunwoo felt humbled by the ancient being's words. We only did what we thought was right. That is why it matters. We offer you knowledge from our travels, technologies and wisdom from civilizations across the universe. Use them well, Deathworlders, of the small blue world. As the transmission ended, Yu-Jin reported new contacts on the long-range sensors. Sir, large fleet approaching from the direction of Krogor space. Configuration matches Dominion of Strength vessels. Hyunwoo looked around the bridge at his mixed crew. Human faces showed determination. Volani features remained calm but ready. Sky dancers hummed with anticipation. Former Krogor prisoners clicked their mandibles in what he had learned was their way of showing loyalty to their new cause. All ships, this is Fleet Admiral Kim, he announced to the combined fleet of 100 vessels surrounding Earth. The Dominion of Strength comes to test our resolve. They believe that might makes right, that the strong should prey upon the weak. Today we show them the difference between strength and power." He paused, looking out at the stars where enemy ships would soon appear. "We are not fighting for conquest or glory. We fight so that peaceful beings can live without fear. We fight so that children of every species can grow up in safety. We fight because someone has to stand between the darkness and the light." The Allied fleet moved into formation, but unlike the rigid patterns of the Dominion forces, this formation was flexible and alive. Each ship knew its role, but was free to adapt as needed. It was the Deathworlder doctrine applied to an entire galactic fleet. "Enemy fleet dropping out of hyperspace," Yunji reported. 200 ships, multiple species. They significantly outnumber us." Hyunwoo smiled. He had learned not to fear being outnumbered. "Signal the fleet. Execute Operation Guardians." As the combined Earth fleet moved toward the enemy, Hyunwoo thought about how much had changed. A year ago, humans had been alone in the galaxy, considered primitive by advanced civilizations. Now they were the center of an alliance dedicated to protecting the innocent. The Deathworlders had become the galaxy's guardians. Behind them, Earth continued its eternal dance around the sun. On its surface, children played safely while their parents worked to build a better future. Somewhere in the galaxy, other children, on other worlds, could sleep peacefully because the Deathworlders stood watch. The battle began with light-speed exchanges of weapons fire. But this time, humanity did not fight alone. This time, the universe itself fought back against those who would destroy the weak. And in command centers across known space, peaceful species watched and hoped as the fleet from the small blue Deathworld once again stood between them and extinction. The Age of Protection had begun, and it would be written in stars and remembered for generations across the galaxy. The humans from Earth had found their true calling among the stars, not as conquerors, but as guardians of all who could not guard themselves.